Hello friends, we continue with the poem Alexander's Feast, which has the subtitle of The Power of Music. This poem has been composed by John Dryden, who was the poet laureate, that means the poet of the king. And in this poem, the poet speaks about the power of music. He introduces the fact that this poem has been written in honor of Saint Cecilia's Day. Dryden first describes the state of Alexander, who is Philip's son, and he is a godlike hero. It has been used with the small g to tell you that although a mortal, although a living man on earth, his status in his lifetime was like that of a god because he was victor of a big part of the earth. So Dryden describes Alexander, who is godlike hero and sitting on his imperial throne. He furthers the idea that there are peers all around him. His companions are sitting in the feast room, and his lovely wife Thais is sitting by his side, and she is also like a blooming eastern bride. She is very beautiful, very adding to the glory of this occasion. And then Dryden describes them as a combination of youth and beauty. Alexander and Thais symbolize youth and beauty. And to speak about the importance of this day, this event, the poet uses the repetitive device. First, he repeats the word happy, happy, happy to tell you that this is the event of happiness. This you must bear in your mind. We'll see how the power of music changes this happy state into what it will become. We'll read further. And then there is the repetition of the line thrice. None but the brave, none but the brave, none but the brave. That means there is something important. Who is a brave man? Is bravery the asset of a man who goes with a very big army and destroys people all around? Are they brave? We'll study it further. And now comes the description of the poet, the musician, Timotheus. Timotheus is the musician who has been called to play, to have a concert, and to sing the high praise of Alexander. So Timotheus was a great poet of all times, nearly all times, and he has been invited to sing the glory of Alexander. So Timotheus placed on high amid the tuneful choir, with flying fingers touched the lyre. So lyre is the musical instrument which we all as students of literature must know is what? It is from this lyre, which is a string instrument, that the word lyric has been originated. So Timotheus was sitting high with his tuneful choir. Choir is this band, and his fingers they touched the lyre. The trembling notes ascend the sky, and heavenly joys inspire. Now we are learning the power of music. We are being introduced with Timotheus. He comes, he plays on different instruments, and with each instrument, he is evoking a particular sentiment. When he plays the lyre, trembling notes rise high in the sky. The music rises too high and heavenly joys inspire. So ये लायर का संगीत क्या उत्पन्न कर रहा है सबके हृदय में? आनंद. That joy inspires. Heavenly joys inspire. So all those people who are sitting there, they at once on hearing the music of the lyre were transported into the state of heavenly joy. And what was the song that Timotheus sang? The song began from Jove, who left his blissful seats above. Such is the power of mighty love. अब आप समझने की कोशिश करें, जब उन्होंने लायर बजाया तो टिमोथियस ने किसकी कहानी सुनाई? जव की. जव is Jupiter, the biggest planet. So, and Jove, according to the Greek mythology, is the god of the skies. So, Timotheus sang the very same song which would bring even Jove down, which would cause Jove to leave his happy seat above and come to the earth, come to meet his mighty love. Mighty is powerful love. What was his powerful love? Mount Olympia. A dragon's fiery form belied the god, sublime on radiant spires he rode. So this was a song that Jove is coming down on earth. Once he came down on earth and settled on Mount Olympia. Now again he is about to come down on earth to celebrate the victory of Alexander. टिमोथियस एक बहुत अच्छा तकनीक यूज़ कर रहे हैं किसी भी इंसान को उसकी गलती एकदम सीधे बता देने से, और जब वो ताकतवर व्यक्ति हो तो वो आपसे नाराज भी हो सकता है. वो तकनीक यूज़ कर रहे हैं, उसकी पहले तुलना कर रहे हैं विद जव. A dragon's fiery form belied the god, sublime on radiant spires he rode. So radiant spires, you must have seen Jupiter having the spheres of bright, illuminated bright spheres circling around it. So when it came down, the circles, they became like spires. When he to fair Olympia pressed, he came down to meet his beloved Olympia. And while he sought her snowy breast, then round her slender waist he curled and stamped an image of himself, a sovereign of the world. So it is said that Alexander was born as if by a boon granted by Jove, the most mighty of all gods, to Olympia, the highest mountain in Greece. And when he came and hugged Olympia, he was thereby able to leave back a sovereign of the world. Underline this: sovereign, greatest monarch. This term has been used for Alexander. Timotheus plays upon the lyre and he tells the story of Jove and says that Jove came down, embraced Olympia, and left on earth someone just like himself. And that is Alexander, our Alexander. The listening crowd admired the lofty sound, and everyone who was listening to it, they started screaming in joy. They were so happy that Alexander has been compared as a reflection of Jav. A present deity, they shout around. So, what did they start saying? They started calling Alexander as a present deity. Deity is God, powerful, more than human, very strong, best among the humans. So they said, yes, yes, he is a God, he is a God. Timotheus declared him, Timotheus gave the idea that Alexander is as if Jav incarnate. He is as if a replica. He is as if the gift of Jav to Greece. And when he introduced this idea, the audience that was experiencing this feast, the happiness of the feast, they started screaming along with him. Yes, he is a present deity. Present, again, understand it as a gift. Present is a gift, and present, one who is there. So he is a gift, a godly gift. A present deity, the vaulted roofs rebound. And so much they screamed that the roof, which was a round dome, it rebounded. The sound echoed. From everywhere they could hear the sound. A present deity, a present deity. With ravished ears, the monarch hears. So this much of thronging of the celebration, of the declaration that Alexander was a present deity, a real deity before them, his ears were ravished. They lost their chastity. It is said that our sense organs are the gateways to truths. हमारे जो इंद्रियां होती हैं वो हमें सत्य का आभास कराने के साधन है. उसके कान उस सत्य से कितने परे चले गए. They became ravished. They lost their chastity. With ravished ears, the monarch hears. So he is more than happy. Already, even before he can drink wine, he is drunk in the proclamations made by Timotheus. His musical instrument, lyre, on which he told the story of Jav having ascended the earth, having descended the earth, placed his embrace upon Olympia, and left behind on earth a parallel of himself, and who is proclaimed the present deity. So, first, see the power of music. म्यूजिक बजा, लोग चिल्लाने लगे, लोगों को सच में लगने लगा कि अरे हाँ यही भगवान है. They had not said a word before Timotheus played the music, but they screamed it, and then the music was able to evoke in the heart of Alexander the passion which was of corruption. Alexander is made corrupt. He has lost his identity and he starts thinking himself a god, assumes the god. He starts believing that he is a god, affects to nod and affect. Affect is artificially display with a sense of display with artificiality. इतना वो मदमस्त हो गया कि वो कल्पना में खो गया. He started believing that he is God, and he affects. He put up the affectation, swung करने लगा, and he started nodding to the people. चिल्ला रहे थे लोग और वो सबको जवाब दे रहा था. He was nodding his head in a thankfulness and seems to shake the spheres. So much he nodded. We always see that if we greet someone, the other person nods the head in a reverse exclamation. So much of thronging, so much of screaming about his being the deity, about his being the God, was proclaimed by his courtiers, by his peers, by his equals, that he was intoxicated completely. The poet is pricking at the conscience of Alexander. Timotheus is playing. This is the play performed by Timotheus. He is playing, he is causing by his instrument, causing a mad enthusiasm to come over, and everyone screams. Alexander believes that he is God. He nods and he nods and he answers to all the screams. So much so that it appears that not Alexander, but all the spheres are heavenly bodies. जब भी जुपिटर है, बृहस्पति है जो एक बड़ा नक्षत्र, एक बड़ा ग्रह है, तो वो इतना हिल रहा है, अपना सिर में जवाब दे रहा है लोगों को थैंक यू के लिए, कि लग रहा है कि पूरा कोई स्फीयर्स घूम रहे हों. So much of nodding he does. Do you see something? That Alexander, who was called as godlike by John Dryden, and now in the poem, Timotheus makes the people charged with so much emotion that they make Alexander believe and act like a god. And who has done this? What has done this? It is music that has done this. It is music played by Timotheus that has made the people overjoyed and has made Alexander to believe that yes, he is a god. This is an attribute of music. संगीत ये कर सकता है, आपको नशा दिला सकता है, आपको वो अनुभूति दिला सकता है जो कि आप नहीं हो. And therefore, instead of Alexander's feast, we at times believe that the subtitle is more important, the power of music. And this will tell you about not one Alexander, but by all Alexanders, all the people who are drunk with the thought of their being like God. If real music is played for them, they will realize the reality. So we'll continue further. This is all for today. Thank you.